Hello again. As a young man, I had what might be described as a casual attitude towards international borders, nipping across them sometimes just for fun. I realise it was very wrong of me to do so, but we're talking now getting on for 50 years ago. For example, when I lived in the Negev, I visited the city of Petra at night without troubling myself about either the Israelis or the Jordanians. I was, however, perfectly aware that this had to be done on the quiet, and that if detected, I could expect a pretty harsh reaction from any border patrols on either side who found my tracks. All over the world, nations are protective of their borders and do their best to deter those who attempt to slip in and out without going through the usual formalities. I have never been to China, but I have a very strong suspicion that if the Chinese or Indians found me fooling around on the border and trying to infiltrate either country, I would be bound for prison, if I was lucky. The British, though, adopt quite a different approach to such matters. If they find people trying to cross the border illegally, they send out a border patrol and shepherd the illegals across the border and then arrange for them to be put up in a hotel and allowed to stay in the country for as long as they please. This is such a weird way of dealing with infiltrators and intruders that I have difficulty sometimes in understanding just what is going on. Every single one of those migrants, as we are now supposed to call them, or illegal immigrants, as I think of them, has committed a crime to get here. That is to say, they have deliberately breached the 1971 Immigration Act by attempting to enter Britain without leave to do so. In the last 2 years, around 45,000 illegal immigrants have been detected in the Act. Some have been found as stowaways on lorries, and others have arrived in small boats. Of that total, how many do you think were arrested and charged under the relevant legislation? The answer is that just 61 out of those 45,000 people were arrested and only 51 convicted. That's roughly 1 in 1,000. In the summer, the Crown Prosecution Service in Britain announced publicly that they would not prosecute anybody for this offence in the future unless it was combined with another criminal act. Yes, that's right. The CPS has said publicly that it will not bring any action against illegal immigrants. Now, I can't help wondering if this has had any effect on the numbers arriving here since the summer. One of the things which prevents people in some parts of the world from nipping to and fro across borders as they please is the very real risk of being shot if they're caught in the act of doing so. At least, very least, most of us know that if we try to enter even an easygoing country like Italy or France illegally, that we're apt to end up in a cell. Britain alone has thrown open its borders and promised that those entering the country illegally will face no penalty. Here are two questions. First, why do people think that this country has taken such a mad step? The second question is, do viewers think that this might possibly have encouraged illegal immigration to Britain? As usual, in the description to this video, I give a link to a news item on this subject.